When I was 14 years old, I moved out and lived in my friend's basement. And it wasn't really my choice. It was really my dad's, but he was doing it for the best. You see, growing up, I had huge goals for myself. And I'd have to thank my parents for allowing me to believe in those goals and pushing me to achieve them. I always wanted to be both the smartest kid and also the most athletic kid, which is actually a very hard thing to do, balancing both of those things in general. But I was good at both. I was naturally gifted, came from two athletic parents. I was put in sports at an early age. I excelled. Same thing in school. I just loved learning. I read hundreds of books over the course of my childhood just because I loved stories. And I spent countless hours on YouTube learning just the most random stuff in the world. I would binge watch how it's made on TV because I was so interested in all these random things. But my big goal was to go to a top school and use sports as a pathway to get there. Both my parents were pretty successful in their own right. My dad went to fire school, became a firefighter. My mom went to Cal Poly in California, could have played sports in college, but the sport she got recruited for was ultimately not the sport that she loved. So I knew it was very much achievable to get to a college through athletics. So I played every sport in the book growing up. My dad threw me in everything. I think he realized that I wouldn't be tall enough for some of these sports to play competitively when I was older. I was playing basketball in the local league, and then he put me in the Japanese league just because I was so much smaller than everyone else in the regular league. I think that also came from his own experiences growing up. He loved basketball and baseball, but didn't end up insanely tall, which doesn't help in those sports. So, yeah, I tried a little bit of everything, and he just really just got to figure out what I was good at. Ultimately, I narrowed it down to judo, wrestling, and soccer. Two of those are martial arts, and one of them is soccer. So I did those for many years. At some points, I was going to three practices a day after like a full day of school. Eventually, I made the decision that I wanted to go all in on one sport. And it was my choice to figure out which of the three I wanted to continue with. And ultimately, I chose wrestling. Wrestling was the hardest sport out of the three, but I loved the sport because everything entirely depended on me. Once it was me out on that mat, I couldn't blame anyone else if I wasn't prepared. If I lost, I couldn't blame my coaches or my teammates or anyone else. It was just me. I think I enjoyed that level of accountability. So around the age of 12, I just decided to go all in on wrestling. Eventually, at a tournament, I was in the finals, lost to this kid, got pinned actually. His name was Bo. And Bo and I stayed in touch. We were actually partners at a wrestling camp as well in Gilroy, California. Both found out we had a lot in common. We both did judo, we both did wrestling. We were both Japanese, part white. Very similar, like, background and upbringing and all of that. Yeah, we pretty much just generally got along. So Bo ended up moving from Arizona to Pennsylvania to go to this wrestling school that was like number one in the country at the time. And I was still in California. Well, a year into that, his dad calls up my dad. They catch up. He asks for me to come visit the school and check it out and see if I like it. And I had never really been to that area of the country before. I'm sure you've watched The Office, know where that town called Scranton is. That's pretty much where this high school is located. I got a call from my dad. I was on the school bus on the way home from 7th grade, and he asked if I want to go check out this school in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, that my friend Bo currently goes to. And I woke up from a nap, said yes. The only reason being that I did not want to go to school the next day. I was really tired. He said we were going on a flight, a long flight, and I just saw that as an opportunity to sleep more. The next day, we fly across the entire country from Bay Area-ish, I think maybe San Jose, to New York City. And I had never been in New York City either, so that was super sick. I got to drive through, see like the skyline, took a picture in front of the Statue of Liberty, which I had never seen in my life either. This was like a super cool experience. And we drove to the school, checked it out. I took a tour, drove around the city, saw what that was like, stopped by Bo's house, caught up with them. His dad was talking to my dad about his school, why they moved, and all of that stuff. And Bo and I pretty much were just hanging out. We actually we were filming random YouTube videos in his room, and we just kind of really got along with each other. Well, things go well. We come back home to California after that whole trip, after meeting coaches and parents and whatever. I took a tour of the school. I actually got to shadow Bo at the middle school and see what that was like. But yeah, we flew back home to California after, and my dad asked if I would like to go to the school and move across the country. And me at 14, with the thought in my head of leaving everything I knew behind to go and pursue this cool little place, I said no. I said, no, I can see this is a great opportunity. I get this is a really good school with a really good wrestling program, and a lot of these people are going to cool colleges, but I don't want to leave all this behind. I don't want to leave my family. I don't want to leave my friends and just get dropped off in the middle of nowhere. So over the next few months, my dad and I went back and forth discussing it, talking about it. And I was still very much a no. Ultimately, it wasn't much of a choice for me. I think I said yes, but I didn't really, deep down in my heart, want to move, want to leave. It was a very hard thing to do at that age, to leave everything behind and go chase your dreams, because that's not what a lot of people do. But looking back 7 years now, that's one of the best decisions, even if it wasn't mine, that was ever made in the course of my life. And I'm actually grateful now to my dad for having the foresight of that opportunity and the fact that I went through with it. That school, that program got me into Harvard, got me into the school of my dreams. Both of those together have gotten me, opened up even more doors and opportunities for me in my life, even though I haven't technically graduated college. But I think that choice will compound, pay dividends over the course of my entire life. At the age of 14, I got to move away. I got to experience a whole different part of the country that was unlike anything I'd seen before. It was so different from a place like California. I stuck out like a sore thumb in Northeast Pennsylvania, being like a mixed person, being Asian, because apparently California is not representative of the entire country, which I didn't know as when I was younger. But just getting to experience all that I did experience in my 4 years there. Yeah, if I had the opportunity to go back and change things, I wouldn't. It was hard. I struggled. I was homesick. I was away from my friends. I was away from my family. I didn't get to go to school with some of my best friends, but it was all worth it. So I think the lesson here is some of the best decisions you will make in your life will be situations where you have to sacrifice the most in your life. It's hard to go down a lonely path to chase your dreams, but that's what you have to do in order to accomplish these huge goals you've set out for yourself. The path to success is lonely, it's hard, it's a struggle, you'll face a lot of adversity, but you'll come out a better human being, a more successful human being because of it. I think a lot of people in my situation would be mad, they'd be angry, but over the years, I've reflected, I've forgiven, and I'm grateful for the decision that was made for me. That pretty much wraps up this video. Go make a hard decision for yourself today. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.